I see. It's a little tear. I just had her on the wrong side. That's user error. Don't blame Mr. Beast. We're gonna just dump her out. Now I try to ration these pretty nicely, but I'm not eating two entire Lunchables, so I'm just gonna make it like I'd make a normal pizza, I guess. Now I would just kind of spread the sauce out with the thing because I don't like touching food with my hands. I know, I'm a weirdo. Just get it nice and even. The sauce coverage is really the most important thing. I mean, if you can't immerse yourself and trick yourself into thinking you're actually eating a real pizza, what's the point? So that looks pretty good. Um, I should have got a napkin. No big deal. Then the cheese. Okay, the cheese is pretty important. You really want adequate spreadage. Make sure you cover the entire pizza. It doesn't seem like there's enough cheese, really. Not gonna lie to you. This is an inadequate amount of cheese. That's for damn sure. Not the trippiest cheese I've ever encountered, but I guess that's reserved for the nut. Now, like I said, not a big fan of pepperonis, but I'll suck it up and eat them anyways, just to get a full idea. Okay, the pizza's made. The foundation set. Only one thing left to do here. Oh, I do have that. That makes me more confident. Let's go where no man has ever gone before. Stay strong for me. Uh-oh. Oh, it's pepperoni. Tastes exactly like Lunchable pizza. Zero discernible difference whatsoever. And I mean that. Like, there is literally zero difference. I was going to do a blind taste test. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. I promise you. Like, to the point where I think they may have just, like, bought the ingredients for a Lunchable pizza and rebranded it. That's uncanny. I mean, I guess there's only so much you can do with, like, processed food when it comes to these ingredients. But this is just a Lunchable pizza. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's fine. It's a Lunchable pizza. I like them in a Lunchables context. There's really not a whole lot else to say, I don't think. If you've had a Lunchables pizza, you've had a Lunchable. I don't know what they were going for. If they were just trying to recreate the Lunchables exactly and make it marginally healthier. If that was the goal, they have succeeded. That's kind of crazy. Interesting. Now, I've had Prime before. Never had this cherry freeze flavor. Never had a Mr. Feastable though. Or Mr. Beast Feastable. So, don't mean to misname here. This looks cheaply made, which, I mean, I guess that's fair, right? It's an Lunchable. Now, I've heard very polarizing thing about these chocolate. I've heard that they did like a whole bait and switch thing when they were making them. Like, they advertised that they were healthier than other chocolates, and then they ended up changing or like going back to all the ingredients that made them not healthy or makes other chocolates unhealthy, I guess. Probably what they're going to do with these Lunchables if they haven't already, because, like I said, this is just a fucking Lunchable. Let's see this chocolate. I'm going to get a nice full bite. You know, fucking, I'm just going to eat the entire thing. Okay, I told you I'd be honest. I will be. I think this is better than a traditional Crunch Bar. I'm not going to lie. That was pretty enjoyable. Probably because it's made with all the shit that makes chocolate bad for you. If I'm being completely honest, I'd eat another one of those. Okay? I don't even really like chocolate all that much. More of a peanut butter guy. But yeah, that's pretty solid. Not going to lie to you. Now, for the finale, oh my god, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. We're going to try this Prime. Now, I've had a few Prime flavors, mainly of like desperation. I know, I'm sorry. It's more like I'm not a very big fan. In my opinion, they all kind of taste like liquid laxatives. Have the mouthfeel of them too. But maybe the cherry freeze is going to change my opinion. Let's see. Nice pop. Smells like a white Gatorade.
How does that not work?
It's fine. It's a run-of-the-mill generic sports drink. I mean, oh, sorry, almost choked on that. I mean, it's fine. It's okay. I mean, I wouldn't grab this in the stores, but I mean, it tastes just fine. It's really not that offensive. Honestly, as much as it pains me to say this, I don't really see a whole lot wrong with this. Other than the fact that they tried to advertise it as being super healthy and awesome, and like less processed and Lunchable. Guys, I bought these like 3 weeks ago. They expire in January. You're getting processed shit regardless if you buy something like this. I'm not afraid of processed foods. I'm not one of those people. You'll probably be just fine if you don't eat it every day. Overall, compared to a Lunchable, I'm going to have to give this like a 9, guys. That chocolate bar was pretty fucking good. Like, for a little chocolate bar, like, I like that more than I like the little Hershey's that you get. It tastes the exact
Okay,
same.
is
as
this
the
actually
pizza. So I
impossible?
can't really fault it there. Comparing it to a Lunchable, it gets points deducted for the Prime.
I like my cheese drippy, bro.
This honestly should just be
Okay.
like water. Kids don't need sports drinks. On to the next. Okay, so this one I'm a bit more excited for, I guess. This I feel like is a bit of a different, I don't know, they have a different pitch for this than the pizza one. They were really like heavily focusing on the fact that the salsa and the cheese dip are so much better than the Lunchable version. We'll see about all that. Okay, we're back to leave no crumbs. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. Not gonna lie to you. Let me see my product. And a strawberry banana prime, which is like my least favorite flavor for anything, maybe behind blue raspberry. So this is going to be an interesting one. Okie dokie. So let me open this very carefully so I don't point salsa everywhere. Okay, that's not a great sign. Well, I mean, I'm not technically. They have the Mr. Beast bar just like buried in the chips. That seems a little silly. Okay, this is like fucking super good on here. Hold on, the Mr. Beast sauce all over me. Come on. Alright, so this is another Lunchable I'm quite experienced with. My parents never really bought me these Lunchables, but there was a kid in my middle school who ate them basically every day, and we all like ate it for some reason. It was like a communal Lunchable. It was kind of weird looking back on it, but 6th grade is 6th grade. Immediately, it does look a bit different. The salsa looks a bit, well actually, salsa looks a bit gelatinous. Salsa's supposed to move. I can understand she is not moving. That salsa looks almost frozen. I'm going to try a chip on its own. Tastes like a Lunchable chip. Slightly saltier though, I will say that. I doubt you're going to be able to see this. Well, maybe, if you got like a big screen. There's a lot of salt on the rim of this Lunchable. Can you guys see that? So, I don't know, probably shouldn't be giving kids like super duper salted chips, but they're gonna eat super duper salted chips anyways, so I mean, I'm trying to really look at this from the perspective of this is just another kid's product. Obviously, it's fun, and it's pretty easy to hate on these three guys, but like really, while these obviously aren't healthy, and they're probably no better for you than Lunchable, like kids are gonna eat this shit anyways. Should they have said it so much healthier? Should that have been their angle? No, but I mean, I think people got a little upset. Hot take. And time to try the salsa. The drippy cheese bread, we're saving that. We're going to get a generous scoop. Okay. I need to further investigate. Okay, this has its own distinct taste, I'll say. It doesn't taste like Lunchable salsa. It's okay. I'm going to say it actually tastes worse than Lunchable salsa. The mouthfeel is better, and I mean, it's easier to grab with the chip. It's like relatively solid. I mean, like it really stays on there. Lunchable salsa is pretty liquidy. I think Lunchable salsa tastes better, honestly. If you could do like Lunchable salsa taste with this sort of texture, I think we'd have something there. But it doesn't really taste or feel like real salsa. Keep that in mind. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for the sake of having a chip this small, it's better to have something kind of clumpy and sticky. But it kind of tastes and feels like tomato sauce. This tastes more like a pizza sauce than salsa. Now, it's time for the moment that I've been waiting for quite some time. It's time to try this drippy cheese wrap. This shit better blow my dick off. We're calling that drippy? Shit won't even drip? Okay, they got one drip, whatever. I'll let it slide. Okay. That's ass. I think like milk.
How do you fucking do this?
I really like that. That's not that pleasant. It's
Okay.
Like it's super sweet. So you'll get a chip and see if I can balance it out. Yeah, not really a fan of that. I mean, you're trying to market to kids, right? Kids like nacho cheese. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of weird. It's not off.
Up there, you go around every hour and a half, time after time after time. You wake up usually in the mornings, and just the way that the track of your orbits go, you wake up over the Mideast, over North Africa. As you eat breakfast, you look out the window as you're going past, and there's the Mediterranean area, and Greece, and Rome, and North Africa and the Sinai, the whole area. And you realize that in one glance, that what you're seeing is what was the whole history of man for years, the cradle of civilization. And you go around down across North Africa and out over the Indian Ocean and look up at that great subcontinent of India, pointed down toward you as you go past it. And Ceylon off to the side, Burma, Southeast Asia, out over the Philippines, and up across that monstrous Pacific Ocean. Vast body of water. You've never realized how big that is before. And you finally come up across the coast of California and look for those friendly things. Los Angeles and Phoenix and on across El Paso. And there's Houston. There's home. And you look, and sure enough, there's the Astrodome. And you identify with that, you know? It's an attachment. And down across New Orleans, and then looking down to the south, and there's the whole peninsula of Florida laid out. And all the hundreds of hours you spent flying across that route, down in the atmosphere, all that is friendly again. And you go out across the Atlantic Ocean and back across Africa. And you do it again, and again, and again. And that identity, that you identify with Houston, and then you identify with Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and New Orleans, and everything. And the next thing you recognize in yourself is you're identifying with North Africa. You look forward to that. You anticipate it. And there it is. That whole process begins to shift of what it is you identify with. When you go around it in an hour and a half, you begin to recognize that your identity is with that whole thing. And that makes a change. You look down there, and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries you crossed again and again and again. And you don't even see them. At that wake-up scene, the Mid-East, you know there are hundreds of people killing each other over some imaginary line that you can't see. From where you see it, the thing is a whole, and it's so beautiful. And you wish you could take one from each side in hand and say, look at it from this perspective. Look at that. What's important? And so a little later on, your friend, again those same neighbors, another astronaut, the person next to you goes out to the moon. And now he looks back and sees the Earth not as something big where he can see the beautiful details, but he sees the Earth as a small thing out there. And now that contrast between that bright blue and white Christmas tree ornament and that black sky, that infinite universe, really comes through. The size of it, the significance of it, it becomes both things. It becomes so small and so fragile, and such a precious little spot in that universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All of history and music and poetry and art and war and death and birth and love, tears, joy, games, all of it is on that little spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize that that perspective, that you've changed, that there's something new there. That relationship is no longer what it was. And then you look back on the time when you were outside on that EVA and those few moments that you had the time because the camera malfunctioned, that you had the time to think about what was happening. And you recall staring out there at the spectacle that went before your eyes. Because now, you're no longer inside something with a window looking out at a picture. But now you're out there, and what you've got around your head is a goldfish bowl, and there are no limits here. There are no frames. There are no boundaries. You're really out there, over it, floating, going 25,000 miles per hour, ripping through space, a vacuum, and there's not a sound. There's a silence, the depth of which you've never experienced before. And that silence contrasts so markedly with the scenery and the speed with which you know you're going. That contrast, the mix of those two things, really comes through. And you think about what you're experiencing and why. Do you deserve this? This fantastic experience? Have you earned this in some way? Are you separated out to be touched by God to have some special experience here that other men cannot have? You know the answer to that is no. There's nothing that you've done that deserves that earned that. It's not a special thing for you. You know very well at that moment, and it comes through to you so powerfully, that you're the sensing element for man. You look down and see the surface of that globe that you've lived on all this time, and you know all those people down there. They are like you. They are you. And somehow you represent them when you are up there. A sensing element. That point out on the end. And that's a humbling feeling. It's a feeling that says you have a responsibility. It's not for yourself. The eye that doesn't see does not do justice to the body. That's why it's there. That's why you're out there. And somehow you recognize that you're a piece of this total life. You're out on that forefront and you have to bring that back somehow. And that becomes a rather special responsibility. It tells you something about your relationship with this thing we call life. And when you come back, there's a difference in that world now. There's a difference in that relationship between you and that planet, and you and all those other forms of life on that planet, because you've had that kind of experience. It's a difference, and it's so precious. And all through this, I've used the word you because it's not me. It's not Dave Scott. It's not Dick Gordon, Pete Conrad, John Glenn. It's you. It's us. It's we. It's life. It's had that experience. And it's not just my problem to integrate. It's not my challenge to integrate, my joy to integrate. It's yours. It's everybody's. Russell Schweikart, 1975.
Awful or anything. Don't get me wrong. It's just oddly sweet. Yeah, it's weird. I can't support that. Now, time for the milk chocolate bar. Now, this is the one I think I've heard bad shit about. I don't know if it was the Crunch Bar. It may be both. I don't know. But if it's anything like that Crunch Bar, I'm looking forward to this. All right. Once again, all in one go. Okay. Tastes like milk chocolate. I mean, it's fine. The Crunch Bar is honestly the one thing I would consider out of everything I've tried to have been, like, good. Like, it was relatively pleasant to eat that Crunch Bar. This, not so much. It was fine. Kind of tastes like a Hershey's Kiss, but a little worse. I would rather have the Crunch Bar, and if I was a kid getting these, I'd be disappointed if I got that one. That's what I'll say. Now it's time to bring us home, baby. This is probably the thing that on the surface I would like the least. Strawberry banana is not really a taste I love. I love strawberries, I love bananas, but not really a huge fan of putting them together all the time. So we'll see. I've saved the worst for last. Ooh. Smells like a Laffy Taffy. Like a banana Laffy Taffy. Yeah, I don't really like that. That kind of tastes like banana milk. It's fine. Like, if I was a kid, I could drink it. It's definitely not, like, delicious, though. But I don't know if that's, like, a reflection on Prime. I just don't like the flavor. Definitely my least favorite thing so far. But overall, like, honestly, actually, you know what? First, let me clear my space. Let me get my mind right. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Overall, honestly, I mean, it's a fucking Lunchable. They taste like Lunchables. They look like Lunchables. The ingredients are basically the same as a Lunchable. That's what they are, and I mean, there's only so much you can say about a Lunchable. Are they healthy? Not really. Are they good for you every day? Of course not. Are you gonna die if you eat them once or twice a week as a child? Probably not. Don't hold me to that though. But I mean, that's pretty much what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting these to be bad. I didn't think this was gonna be like a pink sauce situation. These guys were rich. They worked with some big company. They had other people test them. These were never gonna be bad. I think the problem is still that these, at the end of the day, are just Lunchables. They're not this super healthy thing that's gonna transform a child's lunch. They're just a Lunchable. And that's it. That's all they are. So, do I think they should be ripped off the shelves? No, not necessarily. That is what's happening though. I mean,